180.
Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
They run with Adrian Peterson, the second active leading rusher in the NFL. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Two times.
Now it's Trubisky. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
On third and 1, it's Trubisky. And this is going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And it's taken in at the 9. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up first and 10 at their own 21.
Box it.
59,
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. Second and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's second and 2. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. From the 29, Rodgers. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. After the incompletion, here now, third and 2. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Well, they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Hey, turn it out. 22-jet bomber. Alert 3.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. Give him a couple on the carry there, second and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing here, Trubisky. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Trubisky to throw. And he's got his man. That's Robinson. Touchdown Bears. 8 yards on the touchdown pass as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving. Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers, rush coming, and he's taken down. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith, as he gets the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
Mike 5-9, Mike 5-9.
Jim. 26.
Check, 59.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. And his throw intercepted by the all-pro corner, Kyle Fuller. First corner, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
They go play action here on 1st down. This is caught by Robinson. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 14 yards in a Chicago 1st down.
That's good for our Bears. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
They go play action with Trubisky. Open man, Tanner Gabriel. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Call it a gain of 14 for the 2nd play in a row.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watch the run, watch the run. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Watch out, watch out.
They'll run with Peterson. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run as the Bears push further out in front. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 13-0 is the score after one on EA Sports. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
You must be true. 630. 59. Mike 59. Also over here. Check that.
Rodgers gonna throw. He gets this to Devontae Adams. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 38-yard line.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
3 bucks, 3 bucks.
Check side.
Check, check, check. Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
Over.
Throwing now is Rodgers. Steps away to his left. He's going to take off with it, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
The best quarterbacks that ever played the game all wanted to blend in with their teammates and be one of the guys. But sometimes you got to take modesty and put it aside. You're the franchise quarterback, the face of the team, and the guy that leads them to victory. You have to get down and protect yourself and not take hits like that.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Now Rodgers on the bootleg. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Khalil Mack, his 2nd sack of the night.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Watch twitch. Watch twitch.
Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
Rush in, rush in, rush in. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Mike 50.
All day, all day. Hey, orbit.
Now Trubisky on first down. Looking deep for Gabriel. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Chicago. Taylor Gabriel, 51 yards as the Bears push further out in front. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Let's go, boys, let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
A gain of 15. First down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes, when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now that sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Right now in the second quarter on the defensive side, they got to feel pretty good about what they're doing.
They should embrace the feeling they have now, embrace the way that they're playing, and continue that through the half. I know defensive coordinators, sometimes they overthink it, start wondering how they're going to be attacked. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
Just like that.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers looking deep for Adams. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A reminder coming up at halftime, it's the season debut of the coach, Jonathan Coachman, in Orlando, as we look ahead to all the action coming up this opening weekend. And, of course, we'll also take a look back at this first half. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. Back of the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So line of scrimmage still to 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. To throw again. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Rodgers. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 35 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half. On is Mason Crosby for the point after. That is good, and that'll make it 20-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal.
Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. A new life now following the late turnover. Maybe a chance for points here before the break.
Yeah, pretty nice situation they find themselves in, because they're really maybe one completion away from giving their kicker a shot, and that gives them a chance to get some points up on the board.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Now this, of course, the 100th season of NFL football, and 17 matchups with historical significance have been picked throughout the season. And this is the first of them, Bears and Packers, the NFL's oldest rivalry dating way back to 1921, with the Packers having the all-time edge 96, 94, and 6 ties. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Ryan Grant, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A good pickup there, a 22. 22
yards. And a Packer first down.
Rodgers now just 7 of 15 so far, but he's got a 1st and 10. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Rodgers to throw once more. Looking deep for Adams. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
3 bucks, 3 bucks, 3 bucks. 56, the mic, boys, 56. Check 56.
play fake. Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds.
A gain of 10 brings up 3rd and inches.
This will probably be the last play of the quarter. The final shot before half for Rodgers. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D. So we have hit halftime of the 2019 opener from Chicago. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, we'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra, that extra emphasis on it got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Five. He's coming. We got double up. Flip it down. Check. No.
Rodgers now to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and this is picked up by the Bears. The big fella, and he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Trubisky. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1 yard line. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll...
Up, it's magic.